Gunship Battle Total Warfare. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of our notorious live stream, except this time we're going to be showing up and showing out on some big topics. Obviously everyone's seen the artwork and the post made on Facebook in regards to what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing things a bit different this time around, and that is that more than enough, everybody understandably has had something to say about the content of the game, the status of the game, circumstances surrounding different updates, and everything surrounding that as well. And what we want to demonstrate is that talk is cheap. We're going to show you exactly what it is that we mean when we say we heard you, and we're going to listen. That said, we do have a lot to cover, and if I get a little quick on the chitter chatter and everything going forward, please understand that we got some good stuff to cover and not much time to cover it in. We're going to try to keep this as close as possible, and I need to make one thing abundantly clear. We will be doing giveaways today, but not until the end of the stream. That said, we're going to need you guys to hang out. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to have a bunch of boring content for the next 45 minutes, hour, but what we are going to have is a bunch of massive new things, great things. We have a special guest that we're going to have with us today. And you're really, every single one of you going to want to hang out until the end of the stream so that we can hand out some stuff that may apply to all of you. All of you. Anyway, that said, let's go ahead and get into what it is that we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about game content, some big time changes coming up, and what it was that we meant when we said that there's going to be a turning point, and that will be absolutely and abundantly evident once we get into that. Well, that said, Dragonfly, you want to holler up at the community real quick and let them know you're here?
Oh, hey guys, this is your co-host, Dragonfly, your tech guy. Happy to be here once again.
I love that guy. So Dragonfly's not the special guest. He's here every time. Yes. But what we want to do is, do we want to go ahead and kick into it and make our special announcement?
Yeah. So our special announcement is that we have a special guest today.
A special guest?
Yes.
From
server 1053.
1053.
And his name is Cooper.
Cooper, a lot of people. This is a fantastic gentleman. I can't stress this enough. Cooper from server 1053, from Alliance 1KT, representing both 1KT and all of their sister alliances. This is demonstrative of what it is to walk into a scenario and to not just be the biggest hitter on there. I'm not to pick on Cooper or anything. But the thing is when you have what demonstrates what it means to make an alliance, to evolve an alliance, to get everybody under that umbrella and have a voice and presence that's heard and resonates with so many people on like this brotherly level, and you have this way to get into it, Cooper was the reason that we reached out. So let's go ahead and bring on Cooper.
All right, and here we go.
Okay, so we have with us now Cooper from leadership of the Alliance 1KT. I want to go ahead and have you introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you and kind of what's going on, and I'll get into kind of like an interview thing. We're going to have an exchange and talk about some of the topics that you, the Alliance, and the community at large have brought to our attention, and we're going to go line item by line item and start talking about what it is that's affecting the community. How you doing, Coop?
Hey, sounds good, man. Thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here with you guys. It's a privilege to be here, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Are we? Do we have? I can't see live on the. I see the still image.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me show you.
There we go. Of course, it's right about that time I get an itch in my throat. So, Cooper, I'd like to go ahead and start off by hearing about our number one concern, and this was brought up by you, and that is concerns with the jet upgrade system.
Yeah, so I think there's just been some concern about the lack of success when people were trying to upgrade the jets, in particular the legendary upgrades above level 15. I know I personally have had a couple that I've tried to upgrade quite a few times with no success rating, and it's inconsistent with the published reports of how successful it should be. So I think that would be a big concern.
Okay. And that's something that it can be frustrating. I mean, as a gamer myself, Dragonfly also, everybody here, we understand. Pardon me. We understand the frustration that comes along with that. And so what we'd like to do is talk about hearing you guys out. What we are going to do, and some of you have seen some of the changes that we've added already, in that we're going to add more jet upgrade events. We're talking once a month. We're talking about the Plus Chance Up event, which started this week. But the thing is what we want to also demonstrate is that we're not just going to slap a Band-Aid on it. An event or two is just going to be, a superficial. We're treating the symptom and not the cause. And so, but this is one of the many ways that we're going to be improving, and we're going to continue to add the adjustments and add events, and we're going to see that continue on top of considering to go into the game itself to make changes in the core system. And that's as it evolves and kind of not necessarily baby steps, but to when it comes to development of any kind of core system, we're talking about months worth of development and application and testing and everything that goes along with it. And so definitely going to go ahead.
You okay, ready?
Oh, no. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Wow. Obviously, it's my luck. So, you've already seen, Cooper, the influx of kind of what's going on, and how do you feel with some of the events that have already been applied?
I think this last maintenance was definitely a step in the right direction. There's been some more success with jet upgrades, and you can never go wrong with the triple XP ship week. So those are definitely a step in the right direction.
Nice. Okay. All right. We're good. Okay, so the next topic that you brought up was specifically when it comes to pricing. Now, very specifically, with a particular item, you were talking about the Admiral dog tag, right?
Yeah.
Now, what exactly was it that you kind of saw? I mean, either from the community, from 1KT, or just from your personal perspective?
So I think it was frustrating because the cost of the dog tags went up considerably, and with us not now being able to use coupons, it made it difficult for people to acquire them.
Okay. So we definitely want to apologize for the circumstances that went into the accessibility and the availability when it came to the dog tag. Originally, the dog tag value in and of itself wasn't something that was purchasable by itself. And so one of the ways, the very limited ways, like you were talking about without being able to use a coupon, was through that one particular package. And the overall cost of that particular package included everything that kind of went along with it. And the other essential items were always going to kind of remain the same, but that's what the foundation of that cost was about. Now, we understood going into it later on that that wasn't necessarily the right way to go about it. it wasn't the right way to kind of approach pricing for something that meant so much and was so imperative at the end game for a lot of our top tier players, or players that are trying to push. You're talking like the level 1 or level 31s, 30s, and so on, where achieving that combat power was essential. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that the prices of the Admiral dog tag and other essential items will always remain the same. And we're going to be more careful about how these items are going to be combined in the future. That said, in order to consistently kind of give some meat and potatoes with the fact of the matter, we have a promo code that's going to be discussed at the end of this live stream that's going to be very specific about this topic. So this is one of the things I'm going to need everybody watching right now to stay tuned for. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more of some of that positive feedback coming from the community right after this. And so, anything else that you'd kind of want to add to that, or?
No, I think that's great. Making those, more affordable and more accessible is key, because, you get those ships at a high level and it's almost impossible to level up without getting those. I have a couple of guys like Fettler and Terrorfish who have, they're trying to break some Seawolves at level 20. And I think those tags are critical for doing that, accomplishing that goal. So that'd be great. That's a huge step in the right direction. Cool.
And I think our comment section is going to make sure that I get into quarantine here real quick. I appreciate you guys. I know I'm trying to get it together, man. I'm trying to get it together. And so what we're talking about next is some of the events. Specifically with acquiring ship XP, which is obviously, to go hand in hand with what we were talking about with the dog tag, essential for a lot of our in-game stuff. And I'm going to actually take a quick second here, guys. There we go. Okay. I promise I'm back this time now. So we were talking about with ship XP, and you guys have already seen the ship XP times 2 stuff, and we've had ship XP times 3 in the past, and we honestly believe that applying these will help out considerably. If you want, Cooper, what do you feel about kind of where that goes, what it's headed, and what some of the obstacles were with that?
I think the more you could do the triple ship XP as opposed to the double ship XP, that would be great, because then if you make the dog tags more affordable, people can, get those easier and stack that with the 3-time ship XP. And that goes a long way to lessen the gap of power in competition. So that'd be a big help.
Okay. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is, this one goes out to all the community. We're going to be hosting Ship XP times 2 and Jet Core upgrade events reoccurring. We will be hosting Ship XP times 3 events reoccurring for participation in things like Blitz Defense, Royal Armada participation, and we are going to develop an event calendar so that everyone can keep track of all of the upcoming important events. And so what you're going to see is XP times 2 and a reoccurring XP times 3 participation event, which means when you participate, you'll be able to take advantage of these. And these aren't going to be willy-nilly. We're going to be posting and developing a calendar that will allow our players to see when these events are going to happen, which has also been an issue in the past, is they didn't know when some of these events were going to happen, and so it kind of gets sprung on them, and you miss out. And when you have events that are timed by the hours or timed by the day, you miss out on a couple hours worth, and that's huge, especially for our dedicated players. And so, most definitely, and that's something we heard you guys out on loud and clear. And this was a big one, and This one affects so many people. I mean, obviously, a bit more than just the 1KT guys over at 1053, but the server transfer rules, being able to move from server to server and stuff like that. You brought up a couple big names earlier when it comes to multiple alliances that are all kind of like in the umbrella with 1KT and kind of putting those servers together. So, what would you say were some of the biggest kind of limitations and stuff like that associated with that?
So I noticed that, like with our server, we would go back and forth between red and green, and we weren't really sure what the parameters were for opening our server and then closing it. And so there was a little bit of confusion there. And so there were some players that we had recruited to come in, but they weren't able to make it because we went red, and we weren't exactly sure what the reasoning was for that, or how we could get it to go back to green. So it would be nice if we could either open the server capacity up a little bit more, or at least understand how to get it to go green and stay there.
Okay, so one of the first things that we need to make clear is kind of what the parameters were on that, and that was the number of level 31s that are on any given server. Unfortunately, it was probably a bit more basic, but the reason we made it so basic is we wanted to make sure that we didn't have some players that were exploiting or kind of abusing it. But then we also have to take into consideration that even if some players were resting and they were level 31, once you reached a certain number of level 31s on that particular server, it turns red.
What is that number of 31s?
That's a good question. As far as getting into where those limitations were, it was sweeping. It was the same numbers across all the different servers. And so if you had 31 leave one server and go to another, and there was only one particular spot there, then that server would then go red. The other server would go green.
Is there any way for the players to know, like a tangible number, level 30, 31s, or 32s? Is there any way for us to know those numbers?
I need to kind of get more into specifics about communicating that and becoming very transparent with it.
Gotcha.
But what I can definitely say is that going forward, we're not going to have those hard caps anymore, because obviously, if you have let's say a level 31, especially in some alliances that don't necessarily want to participate in the World War, maybe they're just more collector alliances, more casual alliances, that obviously impacts all the players that are trying to compete. And so instead of keeping it a basic, broad, sweeping number, let's say arbitrarily 140, and that particular server has 136, you've got 4. You're allowed 4 on that entire server, and that affects any of the alliances that are on that particular server. And so now, obviously, the numbers were a little bit more than just 4, like I said, an arbitrary number, but we need to make sure that we start making allowances, and that's going to definitely take some time to fix. But what I can definitely state is that the system is going to check basically all admirals' CP going forward. So instead of just having a level 31, like I said, on some of the more casual alliances and stuff like that, in a more detailed way. So we'll be able to make sure that there won't be any issues due to level limitations. So the last time we spoke, when the server would go red or green, now obviously this is going to be much more detailed. And it's going to put the burden of responsibility on us to be able to kind of look at how we can mitigate and track and analyze what amount of CP stacks up on which servers, and which servers are obviously going to be more competitive versus others. But that CP, we believe, is going to be the more qualified, or the qualifier circumstances, rather than just a level cap. Then, now this one kind of goes a bit beyond what we'd had before, and that's going to be the World War tournament starting time.
Yeah.
So some of our player concerns is, now everybody knows that Gunship Battle Total Warfare is a global game. And all of our players, and I know you have some, even at 1KT, you definitely have players from around the world, and having players here in the States, we got about a 3-hour spread if we're going to go from Pacific time to Eastern time. But then when you take into consideration, you've got players from Australia, you got players from Indonesia, our Philippine players, especially here on Facebook. We have a lot of diehard players from the Philippines. Now, if we were to stick to just a very specific static start time, that is definitely going to be something that doesn't play favorably. Now, we can't make everybody happy. I mean, there's no way to like just create this one magical start time where it, is right smack at, after work or after school for everybody. But we were thinking is that one method that we're currently considering is alternating the start times between different areas every 2 weeks. And so if we were to start at 6 p.m. Pacific time on one day, 2 weeks later for the next round, we'd start at 6 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
So what that does is it accommodates for a lot of players that are going to be outside the more traditional start time. And then so like our players in the UK, our players in the Philippines, our players, basically all over the world, South America, are all going to have the ability to play more, where they're going to have some of that, to share some of that peak time value. Now, I know that can be very challenging on the end game, as far as we don't want to kind of take anything away from us too, playing from the States, of course. Or, a lot of our, dedicated Korean players, a lot of our, just where we have some of those, like just that center mass, that nerve center of some of our big hitting guilds. Anytime we operate outside of what would be prime real estate for them time-wise, could be necessarily, a detriment. Yeah. But at the same time, if you've got, it'll set up some abilities for strat. So if you've got, a number of players in your particular guild that would be able to operate well within the prime time range of one tournament, then you've got your other offset players that are going to be in prime time for the second week tournament. Yeah. So that everyone's going to be there. Not that some of you crazy guys are going to be playing till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or anything. Probably. And so this one was something that you and I talked about when you had presented a lot of the stuff initially, and that was advanced or higher level content.
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of hear your just kind of rehash with me a bit what that was about.
So I think when a server goes through its natural progression, it gets stronger. Certain things become almost obsolete, like regular Armada bases. That's why we have Royal Armada bases. But now you get to a point where the regular Armada fleets it's almost it's just not a challenge for us anymore. So it would be nice to see something like Royal fleets and maybe even like Royal squadrons and things like that.
Okay. So we definitely heard you guys on this one. Rob, obviously you were talking about when you reach a certain point, especially, you're talking like, when you're level 31, even level 30s, some of those that are just top tier, and you still, because each one of the designated like environmental baddies, so when you're talking about the Armada bases, the squadrons, and the fleet, they all provide different reasons to go hunting for them.
Yeah.
And so with the Royal Armada, you get that higher return on investment, but you don't get the same types of rewards you'll get from something of an equivalent level for the fleet. So what we're going to go ahead and do is new PvE content is being developed, and new Armada fleet feature is targeted for September. As Alliance content, and that's Alliance-specific content. And then we're also going to be adding a higher level Armada fleet, along with max level expansion towards the end of the year, probably the fourth quarter. So that means stay on your toes, man, because we heard you guys loud and clear, and we're going to be providing new content, and specifically with the fleet, and then Alliance-focused content as well. Can't give too much detail though, as far as what's going to be coming down the pipe, because that's cheating.
How hard will the Royal fleets be to kill?
If it's anything like as regards to what happened to my ego after running into the Royal Armada for the first time after checking some of those level 40s, I'm like you were talking about when you dropped that first level 40,
yeah.
You're like yes,
yeah.
And then you hit that first level 8 Armada, Royal Armada, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. Whoa, what the heck? Like, 'cause there's a considerable jump, and then you go back to the homies in the alliance, and you get you find that rally button all over again.
Yeah, because something similar happened last week. Feltler messaged me. He was excited because he finally beat a level 36 to 40 Armada fleet. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's really neat. You remember those first times like that.
So what would you say the biggest challenge would be? So if you were to have like a Royal Armada fleet or something that's obviously going to extend beyond level 40 for the Armada fleet,
Yeah.
what do you think you would want to look forward to in regards to that?
Things that are difficult to get otherwise, like for example, ship cores. Ship cores would be one. Maybe even like an increased number of first class shipbuilding blueprints. That would be nice as well. Even more resources is always nice, but any one of those three, or Nimitz blueprints if you're feeling
A little generous. Yeah. Man. So we were talking about, you brought up a really good point about resources, especially the top tier. Steel and oil just starts to become a whole nother realm, man. Acquiring enough, steel specific, especially with the ship XP. I mean, we're talking like you will whack through like double digit millions, like it was nothing, absolutely nothing. And so I think this falls right in line with that, to make sure that we are, fighting game content that could then, in return, obviously for a steep return on investment, which means if you guys, just throw yourselves at this sort of content, and you feel that return on investment is solid, especially when it's geared towards the kind of content that the end game player wants or needs.
Yeah.
Versus, getting warplane blueprints that you really want that the game doesn't give you. Sorry, I'm projecting a little bit.
You talked earlier about events. I mean, could you even open that up to something like, for example, like to upgrade aircraft carrier modules? Maybe every now and again you could substitute using food as opposed to oil, or like maybe a player can use a resource of their choice to make those upgrades. Maybe any resource that they have an abundance of.
Yeah, we're talking almost like more meta, and yeah, you're right. We did talk a little bit about that before, like what would happen when you've got one player that's just got this obscene amount of resources that they're just not going to use, or doesn't play to their play style. And then you got this other player who is also top tier that's just starving to death over on this end. And, would there ever be a way to make that kind of exchange, especially in like an alliance situation? And that's definitely something that we want to be able to take into consideration. More specifically, being able to, and we talked a little bit about this before with the intro, how do you weigh out, because we do have to eliminate as a game developer, exploitation. We were talking about how do we keep our eyes open with the server transfers when you got a lot of different players that have alternate accounts that are already kind of filling in gaps. And everyone knows that we've got spies on other servers to make sure we have eyes on, what the enemies are doing, especially when you have that rivals server thing.
Yeah.
And then so how do we instill an ability to kind of perpetuate that relationship that you would have with an alliance, especially between alliance members, that could then kind of help kind of bring everybody up with a kind of like a trade system? Or do we kind of add the element where you have something in an alliance where you have alliance focused content that will allow alliance members to band together to go after that same kind of resource? So we're aware of what the end game's supposed to be, but are there multiple means or ways of being able to acquire those kind of resources in a similar capacity? And that's kind of what we're looking at. And so if we have, like with what we just talked about, advanced level content for like alliance focused ability, where the alliance members are allowed to kind of band together and go after core Armada baddies that can offer the high-pitched or fever-pitched level of resources that are going to be needed for higher level content. So it's like the game content itself has to roll out in order to keep in line with what the end-game expectations are going to be for those level 30 plus players.
Yeah.
Whew. So I want to take a look at chat really quick and see what everybody's kind of talking about. Invasion and server rallies against invade. Oh, server rallies, entire server rallies against invaders. That would be phenomenal. International or internal alliance market. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. I actually like that. Can you remove the airstrike? Let's share, boys. Okay, cool. Yeah, gifts and gold stuff like that. That'd be very cool. Right on. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, and we were talking before, and this was definitely just resounding throughout the community, and that's the cost of legendary equipment. So, Mr. Cooper, let me know exactly kind of where that came from and where some of that feedback went.
Man, it's expensive. It's a lot of a lot of silver to craft that stuff, and even to acquire the materials to craft it, it's pretty tough. Is there anything we can do to either reduce the cost of resources or make the materials necessary to build it a bit easier to get?
Okay, so you guys have already seen, unfortunately, like, I wish we could have like kind of seeded the community at this point, but yeah, everyone's very familiar with an event that just went in about the reduction of the silver cost for the crafting materials. And so we are going to continue to make improvements based on the community feedback. We are going to host even more events. So this, like I said, I'm not in the business of telling everybody that the Gunship Battle Total Warfare team is just going to slap a bunch of Band-Aids on stuff. So are we basically going to put a Band-Aid on it first in order to throw out some events and stuff like that are going to kind of appease some of the concerns immediately? And the events that we have, like specifically from this week's event with the reduction for silver, and then we are going to actually go into the core game functionality and costs associated with it, and start making some immediate impact on how that's going to work out. But like I was telling you earlier, some of the biggest concerns are going to be the turnaround time when we have to make adjustments to actually core game development.
Yeah,
we're not manipulating a bunch of slider bars. Okay, we're going to slide this down a little bit and up this one up a little bit. That's actually changing the functionality of some of that content, and it definitely takes some time. So I think these events hopefully are going to provide enough appeasement and ease some of that, like the XP events, the ×2 and ×3 ship XP events, the cost reduction for production.
Yeah.
Now, have you kind of felt the benefit of that, the equipment production?
Definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a big help. And I thought the cost of the new weapon that you just offered was definitely more reasonable and, easier to get than ones in the past. So yeah, definitely.
Now, do you see that the legendary equipment in general is a bit better than what it was previously?
I do, because, it's kind of a catch-22, because, you can craft multiple sets that can, one for ASG, one for war. The only the catch-22 though is it's so difficult to be able to build legendary equipment. Yeah. But the opportunity to be able to build it, in theory, is great to have it for different needs. It's just the ability to acquire the materials to make it, and the cost of silver. That's kind of the limiting factor.
Okay. So that's definitely something that we're going to take into consideration going forward. And man, I can't thank you enough for when we reached out. I mean, I want to say that I looked at that big claymore on the ground, and I said, "Hey guys," and they were like, as a team, as a global team with the Gunship Battle Total Warfare team, being able to reach out and say, we're going to throw ourselves on the sword and take the accountability necessary to say, hey guys, what are we doing wrong? Where are we? What is that feedback? What is that ability to say, hey, we're going to jump on that sword, take the accountability, and say, we're going to make some big changes to the game. We need to reach a turning point for us as a developer. Not necessarily for the game, because we have our diehard players. We've got just firsthand seeing kind of what's kind of happened with 1053, obviously with 1KT and all of the sister alliances. But we'd like to hear what your feedback is? Like, just in general, what has been your experience, and basically, why are you still here? Like, what makes you kind of step into the role that you've had and run with it?
So, this is the first game I've ever played, and I didn't know what I was doing when I first downloaded it or started playing. But as time went on, you learn a little bit more about the game, and that part is fun. But the part that's irreplaceable is the peer-to-peer interaction. Like, for example, the Alliance chat, the server chat. A lot of people either use Discord or Line chat. So that camaraderie between friends has been unbelievably helpful. I guess in many regards, it's just a game, except when it's not. And there's a lot of situations where it's more than that. When you involve real people, real friends, and that part of it has been fantastic. It's something I never knew existed. And, you guys have done a great job of providing that platform. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I echo those sentiments, but that has been by far and away the best part of the game. The friendships, the camaraderie, joking around with your friends, things like that. It's irreplaceable.
And this that coming from somebody who's you weren't playing MMOs before, you weren't playing strategy games before. This is your first game in this scope.
Yeah, it's the first game I've ever played, man. First game I've ever downloaded. First game I've ever played. So it was like trial by fire when I started.
I can imagine.
I still remember the day I upgraded my headquarters to a level 27, and so like back at that time, that was a big account in my server. Level 27, and now it's like it's kind of funny to look back on it, but it's been great. The game's been great, the experience has been great, but better than anything is the friendships, the people that you meet from all over the world, people that ordinarily in your typical walk of life you would never meet, you would never know, and yet because of the platform that you guys provide, not only do you get to meet and know them, but a bunch of them have become some of my better friends. So that part it's been great.
And it's I think that sentiment kind of resonates throughout some of the other alliances on the different servers too, because when you talk about that level of camaraderie, and you guys have locked horns with some big, especially in the World War, some big other guilds, and you wouldn't have a guild that tight if you didn't have people that literally played off of each other to a degree that is far beyond somebody playing Rambo, like, hey hero, it's not a one-man show, because those guilds they've already shown they've died.
Yeah, so last week we had the unfortunate experience of having to see 67 in that last round of the tournament. And it was a tough battle, but it was still fun, to get to be with your friends and go out there, and we took some licks, but it was still fun to do it, and I had a blast, and like the whole experience it's been great.
Nice, man. And then so what would you say the takeaway is on this? No, not the takeaway. Let me rephrase it. What is your personal wish list? Whether you want to kind of resonate with your alliance, whether you kind of want to resonate with the server, what is your personal wish list on what you want to see going forward?
Well, I'd like to make some things, a bit more accessible or affordable to the players to the community as a whole. Obviously you have a pretty diverse scale in terms of spending, but I'd like to make it a bit more accessible to people who don't want to spend as much as others. And I think if we could do that, you still maintain the disparity in powers, which is healthy for competition, but it does help the whole community, bridge that gap and still enjoy the game and make strides, reach goals. It might even help, Fettler break those level 20 steals, things like that, that'd be great.
Okay. Hopefully we can demonstrate that we're not just going to lob a bunch of talk is cheap baloney, and we're going to demonstrate. This I can promise, and I don't make those kind of promises easily. We're going to demonstrate that we hear you guys and girls out, man, and we're going to make the changes necessary in order to make sure that return on investment, not just investment. I'm not talking about monetary investment. Obviously, we have to keep the lights on. We also know that not everybody's going to be throwing, just truck tons at anything just because they can. But what I'm talking about is the return on investment when it comes to the time spent, the return on investment of the alliances. When you've got these alliances that are working together like mad. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, just the different ways that you've seen people coordinate, min-maxing stats, skills, changing things up. I heard about, you were talking about flipping your game on the RFM and some of the different specialty skills that just, dude, my head was blown.
Yeah.
I'll let Coop, cover some of that kind of stuff later. I'm not going to let him let all the tricks out. But seeing that ability to have that kind of customization and the impact you can have on how you change your strategy, who does what, when, where, how, and why, and then to build upon that and then bring that into an alliance that then functions on that level, you need that coordination, you need that ability to. But in order for us to incentivize as a game developer that everybody makes that investment, they put the time in, they take not because they have to, but because they want to.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, like I said, we wouldn't be a video game if people weren't, just killing everything and handing everything out for free. But you've also responded in the way that when we're talking about some of the end game content, getting that done, that extends beyond level 40, especially for the Armada fleet, and then obviously the squadrons and stuff like that. But I'm definitely kind of rattling on. But I'd also like to thank you, Cooper, for coming in today and for being a part of the show and getting together all the 1KT guys, then obviously the server and getting that feedback. But we also know a lot of you guys are on Discord and stuff like that, so it wasn't coming from one specific place; it was coming from the community at large. And I absolutely love having you here, and obviously Dragonfly. We were all tickled pink, man, that we knew you were going to become joining us for the show.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, sir. And then obviously we'll be in touch. We're going to be talking to obviously the 1053 guys. We saw 2008 here in chat rolling by. I can't holler at every single one of the alliances that showed up, but absolutely. Thanks again, Cooper. We'll be in touch. And then everybody else, stay tuned because I have some more news and information to share with you.
Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cooper.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Man, I can't. And this, I absolutely love talking with Cooper. And I can tell you, like Dragonfly, you can confirm on this one. When we reached out to the community and said, give it to us, and all we can do is kind of turtle up and say, we're going to hear you guys and girls out. And we're not done yet. So I'm going to promise that everything that we have going into this is only going to expand. We're going to be making more changes to the game. We're obviously, I think we got a lot of good feedback here in regards to what we're already implementing and what we're going to be implementing going forward. So we're going to talk about some other quick things really quick. And yes, I haven't forgotten about the fact that we're going to be giving out some wicked promo codes. But let's go on to the next topic. World Boss Rewards. Some of the biggest concerns that we heard was that the World Boss Rewards were no longer motivational, worth it. Nor necessarily satisfying compared with what was literally the beta version of the content. Now, because of the World Boss beta, it faced a lot of stability issues, guys, and that's what happens with beta content. And so we had to tweak, refine, and make this kind of stuff happen to get it good. And so the rewards were set at a compensatory level. And so because we knew some of you weren't going to be able to connect, there's going to be some stuff that wasn't going to function as well. And so we tried to set the rewards initially for the beta version to compensate for a lot of the hiccups. And then once we went with the official live version, those rewards were scaled back in order to reflect the balance, the true balance of what the time, nature, and content was versus just kind of having the world boss for what it was. However, with that in mind, we needed to be more transparent. We needed to be able to communicate that better. Because anytime you get into something like that and you start to feel the return on investment with the rewards and prizes that you are getting, and to feel that that those prizes dip in value and kind of how it would reflect the time and energy you needed to put into that content, it feels bad, man.
Yep, it does. I mean, like when the World Boss first came out, like people were like, amazed by the amount of rewards they were getting and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I feel for the players about what happened with the current build. So yeah.
So this is a two-part effect. Not only are we going to continue to refine and make the World Boss content better functionally, we're also going to revisit the rewards that are handed out. So we're going to be coming up with better rewards. We're going to be coming up with better content, polished content that's going to allow that better play experience. Because the fact that the world boss is the world boss, I mean, there's nothing bigger than the world boss, right?
I mean, that's why it's called the world.
That's
boss.
why it's called the world boss. So we're going to make it better. And we're going to keep everybody in the know. So all of the stuff that we discussed here, we're already going to make the announcement, noting all of the different things that were talked about today. So that way we're going to put it in writing. You guys have already seen a lot of the events go in. There will be more. And we're going to go ahead and take care of you guys and girls with this content. Next one. Ship blueprints via the Battle Pass. This is a personal. This is very personal and dear to me. Not enough ship blueprints were provided in the Battle Pass, so they were decreased in order to increase other items. We were trying to literally maintain a balance. If we're going to offer more of something else, something's got to give. That's logic, but we're going to continuously rebalance and we're going to monitor. We don't want to offer you guys something that you absolutely love and then take that away and offer you something else that doesn't have a compensatory value or an equal value. So we're definitely open to hearing your guys' feedback, and we're going to make these adjustments so that you feel that the Battle Pass content, prizes, and rewards are worth it, that are worth the time and investment. Next. Tournaments. Not enough tournaments available. Now, I don't want to say necessarily say mid to low level, because even with some of the players that aren't necessarily as CP rich, combat power rich. I tell you what, man. I even looking at Coop and some of the others, like he brought up Fetlar. God forbid I go try to charge at that guy. I'm just gonna like throw my Navy at him and just hope something sticks. It's not going to happen. But the thing is with what's going to happen is we still want our top tier guys, our most competitive, focused, dedicated, competitive players to fight at that top tier level. I mean, it's like the difference between watching, a Mike Tyson fight and a Pro-Am fight. Or the Pro-Am fights, can they be just as exciting? Can the lower level guys fight just as hard and pour just as much of themselves into competition as the top tier guys? Yeah, but the limelight needs to be on the top tier guys because they represent the heaviest of hitters, and that's where all the excite is. But we're going to improve and expand the World War Tournaments groups beyond A, B, and C. We're going to improve the server transfer rules, and we're going to have smaller, almost event-like tournaments for a Pro-Am style environment where, the lower CP or the lower level guys can hash it out and still enjoy that same top tier style PvP environment and get rewards for it, get the recognition for it, and have that available.
Nice.
What do you think, Dragonfly?
Well, I mean, it's really good that the developers are letting low level players a chance to participate in something that only the high tier level players can do. So I think that's a great step, honestly, though. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them.
Right on. Okay. So that said, oh, you know what? Hey, I almost forgot. Do you guys see this stuff down here? Facebook. Obviously, we're on Facebook.
Yep.
Discord. All of the live conversations happen there. YouTube. Dude, I can't stress enough. Go check out our YouTube page. Go check out Discord. If you guys want to jump in and chit chat with some of the most active, top tier, get experience, pick their brains, join alliances, talk smack. I'm not going to necessarily say I promote that specifically. I do. Dragonfly can vouch for it. I will talk mad smack even when I'm getting my absolute butt kicked. I mean, you got to go down swinging, right? So if your whole base is on fire, you still got to talk smack, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Discord is a great platform for players like ourselves and also viewers right now to provide their feedback and ideas so we can deliver them to developers to make the game much better for everyone. So yeah, I mean, check out the Discord page, guys. Discord channel.
And obviously we've got our Combat Command Academy videos that are on our YouTube channel. Even though some of the Combat Command Academy explanatory videos or explanation videos, tutorials are still pretty basic, and some people would say, I kind of know how the game functions, right? We're going to start breaking those down into more detailed explanations and start getting into some of the core stuff. We were talking, with some of our community members earlier and start getting into the tips and tricks where you should be focusing so you don't hit level 25, level 27, doing things the wrong way all the way to level 31 when we can teach people how to start literally focusing on what some of the best avenues are in order to get there. And that way we can make it public and make it available to everybody. And so, yeah, guys, go subscribe, like all our videos, watch all our videos, get involved with the Discord, and keep an eye on Facebook, man. Facebook, we update everything in real time to the day with all the different content and stuff that we have. But unless you specifically follow all of our content on Facebook, some people are still going to miss some stuff. So go to our Facebook page and then definitely prioritize our Facebook feed so that you see every single thing that we post there. And big shout out to Nuki and IRL.
The VIPs.
Yeah, VIPs. That's the Facebook. Nuki's the Facebook.
And of course, our Discord moderators, of course, are the one who's like helping us out.
Absolutely. Big shout out to all of our Discord mods.
All right. Speaking of shout outs, should we share the promo codes? The thing that people were looking forward to hearing.
So I'm gonna give everybody a minute. Go get your friends, go get your grandma, go get your dog, go get whoever you got to get in order to bring them here, because we're about to hand out some appreciation codes to a whole lot of people.
Alrighty, so are you ready, my friend?
Well, okay, so let's go with some details. Do we want to explain exactly for our first code? Because the first code's going to be limited. Mm-hmm. We're going to explain some details about the first code. Mr. Dragonfly, do you want to go ahead and take this one away?
Yeah, sure. So for this first promo code, we'll be giving away 1,000 gold, 200 ship XP all, 100 first-class advanced ship blueprints, 30 stamina, 10, and 20 supply support repair boost.
So that's 1,000 gold, 200 ship XP all, 100 first class advanced ship blueprints, 30 stamina 10s, and 20 supply support repair boosts.
All right.
Okay. So stay ready. Get ready. 2,000 players are going to have access to this code. So if you go to enter in the code and you spell it correctly and it says no longer available, that means it got jacked. So get ready. Literally, stay ready. I'm letting you guys know right now. And then once Dragonfly posts the code, it's on.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Summer, space, appreciation. That is the code. Get into game and apply that code. The first 2,000 players to enter that code get 1,000 gold, 200 ship XP all, 100 first class advanced ship blueprints, 30 stamina 10s, and 20 supply support repair boosts. And if you guys want to do me a little something, something, get back into chat and tell me that you got it.
Oh, and just in case for the people who missed that code, boom, there you go.
Woo!
Alrighty, so do we have any confirmation? We're looking at the chat.
We get chat on slow-mo right now.
Oh,
I
we
was
got
first to redeem.
Nice.
Chris Martinez.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Oh.
Done. Chris.
Another Chris got it. too.
There's lots of Chris.
What a coincidence.
Got it, Ben. Oh, Ben, how you doing, man? Vishal.
Nice. Thank you, people. Thank
Steven
you for the
Piedes.
confirmation.
Phil. Starblazers got it. Thank you, sir. Michael Piper. Phil. Jurgen. Philip. Oh, dude. Thank you so
Nice,
much,
nice.
guys,
Thank you,
for the
thank you.
confirmation.
Oh, RETIC, I believe you mentioned something about the dog tag, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes.
Okay, so I was not kidding when I said I apologized earlier. But I don't think we were talking before. Remember, talk is cheap, right?
Yep, talking cheap.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hurt your feelings. No, we're not going to do that.
Nope.
So instead of talking, we're going to show. So everybody get ready. Everybody get ready. Aviator. Hey. Hi. Noticed. Okay. Yeah, we're going to say sorry to everybody for just not positioning ourselves in a way that we believed was the most... didn't say the best. It's just we didn't approach the initial dog tag availability and the pricing in a way that was good. So what we're going to go ahead and do is give you a dog tag. Not just you, not just you, not just you. All of y'all.
And how many people can claim this tag, RETIC?
Everybody can claim this tag. But the only way you can get this tag is by entering in the next code.
All right.
You have to use this code. So, that said, take it away, Dragonfly.
Alrighty, happy to. And here we go, folks.
Full speed ahead. 3 words, full speed ahead. You enter that code in and you get a dog tag. Go do it.
And remember to confirm in the chat.
Let us know when you get that dog tag in chat.
Alrighty, cool.
Wait, I don't know if Joshua got the last code or this code.
I
Say
just
dog
realized-
tag. If you got a dog tag, say dog tag. So that way
Oh, yeah,
we know
yeah,
that
dog
that's
tag. I just realized that we're giving away 2 promo codes, so we don't know which one's confirmed or not. But so yeah, if you guys got the dog tag, please type in dog tag.
So that way we know which one you got it.
Yes.
See, Steve is just like, yeah, it worked. Well, which one? You got both? Dog tag, thank you.
Dog tag.
Dog tag. James, thank you. We get what you mean. We get what you mean. Scott, thank you. William, thank you.
Thank you. And just in case, we have another. We have a promo code posted up on the left corner of the screen.
Yeah.
So, right there. Yep. Promo code number 2. Full speed ahead.
Summer appreciation, 2 words. There's only 2,000 of those, so if those run out, they run out. But the second promo code, full speed ahead, for that dog tag is for everybody. And it's for, if we run out of that, then we did something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, everybody, for my throat closing up earlier for no apparent reason, because I have allergic reactions to life, apparently.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm really sorry about that, guys and girls. But that said, oh, you got both? Where? Give me your RNG. God. I think you're like sitting in this office now. I just feel bad for just existing. My RNG is absolutely horrible, guys. I can't thank you enough for everything. Cooper, again, big thanks.
Oh, thank you.
All the guys and girls at 1KT. The all the alliances over at 1053, and thank you for listening and letting us borrow Coop and the 1KT guys and all of the sister alliances there as well. All of the players, 1097, 2008. I can't. If I listed all of you guys off, so many of you guys and girls are here right now, and I can't thank you enough. And sincerely, from all of us here at Joy City, Gunship Battle Total Warfare team cannot thank you enough, but we are going to show you, not tell you, that we're listening, and we're going to be making the kind of changes to this game that you guys and girls absolutely love. Emery, level 60 Nox. Brah, congrats. And if you didn't do that, and you know where I am in game, come find me. I'll fight you, bro. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Oh, and Judge Chaos, I saw that fly by on my base the other day. Yeah, I noticed. All right, you guys and girls, again, are absolutely awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
From all of us here at Joy City and the Gunship Battle Total Warfare team, we wish you the best of luck in that World War fight coming up. And stay tuned. We have big announcements to make. Oh, we are going to post the notes from everything that we covered today, both with Cooper and from all of the detailed notes for the current and upcoming updates. From all of us, good luck. Fear the bones. Gunship Battle Total Warfare. RETIC. We out.